Good evening. It's now time to begin the meeting. I'd like to call to order the meeting of Planning Commission meeting for Monday, February 10th, 2025. It's a regular meeting. It's 6:32. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. If you all please rise and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we please call the roll?
Chair Schwartz.
Here.
Vice Chair Kratman. Here. Commissioner Lee is absent. Commissioner McMorris. Here. And Commissioner Carney.
Here.
Thank you. Tonight's meeting is live streamed on Cable Channel 3 and all our online platforms. To prevent overlapping comments, each commissioner will be called upon to speak on each item. The first item tonight is public comment. This is the time set aside for members of the public to address the Planning Commission on items that are not on the public agenda, tonight, but are within the purview of the Planning Commission. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Planning Commission cannot answer any questions or take any action on any item discussed until such time as the matter may appear on as an item on a future agenda. If you wish to address the Planning Commission, there's speaker cards in the back, and you can, on the back table, please complete them and give them to Jackie, and speakers will be called to the podium one by one, and will be given 3 minutes. Each person will be given 3 minutes to speak. So I know there are public comments, so please, Jackie, go ahead. Call the first one.
Yes, we have received 2 speaker cards. One is from Lisa Nguyen, and the second one is for Soo-Hong Hee from the National Pacific American Families Allied for Subsidies Awareness and Harm Reduction. So calling on Lisa Nguyen.
Hi, good evening. My name is Lisa, and I'm the project coordinator at NAPAFASA, National Asian Pacific American Families, Allied for Substance Awareness and Harm Reduction. Full name, NAPAFASA. And we are with the Breathe Easy San Gabriel Coalition, and we want to invite you all to our Healthy Beginnings Projecting Our Families from Secondhand Smoke Town Hall. We will be discussing the health impacts of secondhand smoke and the benefits of smoke-free outdoor areas. There's going to be a panel of experts and an art showcase. So please join us Saturday, February 22nd from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the San Gabriel Library. Let's make San Gabriel healthier. Thank you.
And calling on Soo-Hong Hee.
Hi everyone, my name is Soo-Hong and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator at NAPAFASA, and I will do my public comment in Chinese Mandarin. 大家好，我叫何淑红，我们是 Breathe Easy 圣盖博联盟的成员。我们诚挚的邀请大家来参加我们的市民大会，主题是健康新起点，保护我们的家人免受二手烟的危害。在这次的活动中呢，我们将讨论二手烟对健康的影响以及无烟户外区域的好处。在活动中，我们将会有专家小组进行分享关于二手烟的讨论和一些艺术展览。这个活动将于2月22日星期六上午11点至下午1点，在圣盖博士图书馆举行。请一起加入我们来推动这个更健康的圣盖博士。感谢大家的关注，谢谢。Thank you.
No, Chairman.
We will close the public hearing. Item 2 tonight is the consent calendar. All items listed on the consent calendar are considered routine and will be approved by one motion unless the commission, planning commission, or audience requests a separate discussion. So tonight there are 2 items on the consent agenda. The first one is the minutes of the January 13th, 2025 Planning Commission meeting. And the second item is the 2024 General Plan Implementation Annual Progress Report for January 2024 to December 2024. So we have full files. So what I'd like to know is, are there any comments or concerns about either the minutes or the general plan progress report from the commissioners? Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. Does this include the general plan in the housing element as the same item for consent, or are they separate?
They're separate, Commissioner
Okay.
McMorris. Housing would be the first public hearing item.
Okay. I just had a couple of comments or questions just on the general plan progress report, if I might. The
Commissioner
Yeah.
and Chair, if I may, are you pulling the item for discussion?
I
Or,
mean, I'm not going to change anything or ask for any changes to it. I'm just asking for some clarification on what some things mean. So I don't know what I need to do for that, so.
I think a couple of questions to staff would be fine, but if there's going to be a longer discussion, then we should pull it. But let's see how it goes.
Okay, sure. Where was it? Oh, just quickly, on the goal, this would be goal 1.13. This is I'm not sure what page here. It's like on the 4th or 5th page. It says in 2004, adopted the city's street tree master plan. Is that just, my only question was, is that typically not updated? I mean, it's been like 20 years. Is it just something that we continue to kind of implement the way it is? Is that?
That's correct.
Okay. I saw a lot of things that were recently updated, so I wasn't sure. And then let's see. Oh, I just had a question. So this would be on, flip the page over. This is goal E, promote fair housing, access, and opportunity. The very last bullet point on that, I just had a question about, we partnered with an organization and had an agreement for a low-income housing project. I'm just wondering where is that still in the works, or has that have been built, or what's the status of that?
Right. So the project has gone before the City Council. They are
Yeah.
currently working on their funding to move forward with the project.
Got it. Okay, I just kind of was wondering what the status of that was since it started in 2020. And then, quickly, completed projects from ragged to restored. I was wondering if we're any more, I didn't see anything in here on possible developments to restore I think it's the Smith Parks pool, which they've been trying to restore for quite some time. It's super busy in the summertime. I'm just wondering if there's anything going on to facilitate that restoration.
I think the latest update would be that the Community Service Department is still pursuing grant funds to work on that project, but that is high on their priority list. And I believe they're slowly accumulating the funds to be able to work on that project.
Okay, thanks for those clarifications. Those are all the questions I had.
Seeing none, we'll close public comment period. Ask for
Also move.
thank you, is there a second?
I'll second.
Chair Schwartz,
Yes.
Commissioner Kratman,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
and Commissioner McMorris.
Yes.
The vote is 4-0, motion passed.
So before we move forward to the next items, we do have public hearings tonight, and as we do each time, before we move back to public hearing, we'll call on plant manager, Samantha Trussart, to give us
Yes, thank you, Chair, members of the Planning Commission. Evening. Sorry. Copies of the agenda are available on the city's website at www.sangabrielcity.com and also by the entrance. If you wish to speak on an item this evening and are not the project applicant, please fill out a speaker card and submit the card to Jackie this evening. As mentioned, speakers will be given up to 3 minutes to speak on an item. Please write down the item that you would like to speak on. There are 3 public hearing items this evening, as mentioned, to be considered by the Planning Commission. And for each item, staff will provide a summary of the staff report, followed by a presentation from the applicant, if there is one, and then clarifying questions from the commission. And prior to the close of the public hearing, speakers on an item will be given an opportunity to speak on the item. And after close of public hearing, the commission may ask additional questions of staff or the applicant. However, once the public hearing is closed, the opportunity for public comment has ended, and the commission will move into deliberation. So with that, Chair, staff is ready to present item 3A.
Thank you. Item 3A is the General Plan Housing Element Annual Progress Report for the 2024 calendar year. And Samantha, I'll turn it back to you.
Yes, thank you, Chair and members of the commission. Again, this is the annual housing element report for the calendar year of January 2024 to December 2024. I knew this was going to happen. Oh, here we go. No, it's not working, Jackie. Did you move it already? Oh, yeah, you'll have to move it for me. Yes, yes. The housing report, this is for the 6th housing cycle, which covers the current planning, 8-year planning period between 2021 and 2029. And it serves to summarize, to provide a summary of the number of units permitted and approved within the calendar year of 2024. Next slide, please. The 2024 annual housing report was provided to the commission as attachment B. As shown here, this is only one of the tables that's required for reporting purposes for the Department of Housing and Community Development. It's an extensive spreadsheets, multiple tables which have been provided to the commission, but this is just a summary sheet to summarize the number of permitted units as shown on the table here. And as mentioned, there is a link and a digital file for a more close-up shot of the numbers. But essentially, starting in 2021, 12 units were permitted, and again, this was the break period. The effective date of the housing cycle is October 1st, so this captures the end of 2021, which is 12 units. Going into 2022, 82 units were permitted. In 2023, 69, and last year was 188. Next slide, please. It's working. The annual housing report requires cities to report housing units that have been approved, entitled, and permitted. However, only units that have been issued building permits count towards the city's RENA allocation. So the total number of units within the past 3 years totals to 370 units, which equates to 12% of the city's 3,023 unit allocation, which is relatively a good number. Accessory dwelling units continue to make up the larger percentage of the housing applications received and approved during the calendar year. And ADUs are considered affordable, typically due to their smaller unit size as well as configurations. Many of the applications are conversions of existing structures, including existing garages and storage structures, and they do range in size from anywhere between 375 square feet to commonly 800 square feet. And then there are those that build to the maximum of 1,000, which is permitted by code. And as mentioned, ADUs also tend to fall within the affordable category because many of the applications are by family members, for family members, not necessarily to be rented out to the public. And so for this reason, they are put into this category. The number of total housing units also includes single-family home construction as well as multi-unit condos. So in addition to the ADU applications, many of the housing numbers comes from all the condo projects that have come before the Planning Commission for their tentative map approvals. And as the Commission can recall, sometimes those applications includes units between 10 to 13 units, and also the mixed-use projects have greatly contributed to those housing numbers as well. So that's the reason for the increase in the total number of housing units permitted. And so with that, the recommendation before the Planning Commission this evening is to adopt the attached resolution to recommend to the City Council to direct staff to submit the report to the Department of Housing and Community Development. And this concludes staff's summary.
Thank you. Are there any questions of staff tonight from the commissioners on this item? Sean, go ahead, please.
First question is probably the easiest. You may not have an answer to it. Looking at the numbers for surrounding cities, do we have an idea of why San Marino has so few housing units compared to everybody else?
Because it's San Marino.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like,
Lack of available land, most likely.
okay. Thank you for that. The other question I had is, so say here that a lot of the additional ADUs are owner occupied. I'm assuming that means like a family member is there. So, which is fine. I guess I just question the rationale of counting them as going on the market then, and counting them towards our affordable housing supply. I do see the study that shows most ADUs that go out are below market rate, which is good. I just, I guess I'm just concerned that, I'm going to give an example to make a point. I live with my mother in an apartment, so perhaps we could benefit from one of those ADUs. However, because I live in an apartment, I can't build my own ADU, and I can't afford to live in my own single-family house. So that is kind of representative of maybe, kind of the issue here where we're creating more supposedly affordable units, but they're not really going out to the market, but we're counting them as so. And then that just brings me to my other point, which is we haven't had any deed-restricted affordable units, which is troubling to me. And we're probably not the only city, but that, especially now given the fires, the need for not just more housing, but I'm sure affordable housing, people have lost everything. Well, one, I'd like to get on the record, hopefully have it in the minutes, that I would hope that the city council would revisit an affordable housing ordinance, which we did a couple of years ago but didn't pass. So I request that, especially in light of all the fires and the lack of housing now in certain areas, this area. And two, what are we doing to promote deed-restricted affordable units? I mean, I know we don't have an affordable housing unit or ordinance, but just that's something that's near and dear to my heart. So I would hope that we're doing more than just the bare minimum we're required to do by the state. So.
Yes, thank you for the comments and questions, Commissioner McMorris. To the first one, the city is allocated the assigned number of units to construct housing units in general. And then within that, there is the affordability breakdown as to units being affordable. It's really for the life of the property. And although something may not be on the market at this time, the fact that the unit is constructed or converted and has the potential to go onto the market, that is there. The city cannot control when a unit goes on the market or does not go on the market, but it does count as it is constructed and converted. As to projects that have restrictions, the commission has seen those. Typically, they are tied to the density bonus request, so the commission has seen those where the trade-off for extra density, the developer provides affordable units, and then in return, the concessions and the waivers, and so those projects have come before the commission for review and approval. And really, as to encouraging projects to build, that is the one program that the city does well, not market, but provide information as to encourage affordability, that the trade-off would be the extra density and also the concessions and the waivers. So that is currently in place, and that's also a state law to share with developers for housing projects. As to single family, that's not there, but for multi-unit and more dense project, the program is there.
Have we, has interest peaked, increased since we started promoting the density bonus more? Or not? So we are, so potentially we have some coming this year towards us, or, I know we've had some, I don't see the ones we've looked at.
We had one last year, Sean, where we did have, where we did have, if you recall, we have a discussion in which, with the developer, vis-a-vis how many of them would be low versus
Yeah.
moderate. Do you recall
Yep,
that discussion?
I recall that. We had multiple ones actually come before us. I just don't see them reflected in the report. Is that because they're not built yet, or?
That's
Okay.
correct.
But in addition to those, then your impression is that more will be coming in the pipeline?
So the applications that have come before the Planning Commission historically is a lot more than what has come before the city in the past. In addition to the density bonus applications, sometimes there is the development agreements for projects that may not be, that are requesting plan development approval to exceed certain development standards. So that's another tool currently for projects that may not be using the density bonus regulations. So those are examples of projects that have more recently come before the Planning Commission because of these tools allowed by the state.
Okay, well, I appreciate the clarification on that, and, I'm looking forward, I'm hoping that some more developers will utilize the density bonus and bring some projects forward. And I do really appreciate the projects that we have seen in the last couple of years come forward, and I hope that they start to break ground soon, so.
And Chair, if I may, just to add to Commissioner McMorris's query or questions, in many instances, when the ADU is owner occupied, the main house goes out for rent. So it increases the availability. It's not necessarily a low income, but there is a greater amount of housing that becomes available for rent.
I see. Thanks for the clarification. Yeah, I wish there was some way we could have, kind of more detailed data on the ADUs and how they're being used, because I know, yeah, they can be used in many different ways, and I'm glad that they're getting streamlined now, and I think it's an important part of the program. I just wish we had more information on them. That's all for me, Chair. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions of staff? Okay. Then what we will do is open the public hearing. This is an opportunity for anybody from the public to speak about this item, the annual progress report for the general plan housing element. So is anybody who'd like to speak on this item tonight? Have we received any comments? Have you received any comments about this?
No, Chairman.
Okay, we'll close the public hearing then. And now is time for staff deliberations and discussions. So Sean, do you want to speak any more about this, or?
I know, I guess I said everything I would like to there, and just again reiterate my hope that the city will this year revisit an affordable housing ordinance.
Anybody else? Vice Mayor, would you like to speak about this?
No, if you look at the trend line is very positive for building a lot of housing, but it's a high bar. I mean, you're asking to increase the housing by 10% throughout the city, which is not something that's done overnight, so.
Commissioner Carney?
No, I'm fine, thank you. No questions.
Okay, well, this is an opportunity for discussion as well. So I'll go first, and I will say that, the only thing that, besides the desire to have more affordable housing in this community, I have to put on the record my outrage that, based on size of cities, that St. Gabriel was assigned, in my view, too many housing units in the sixth cycle. When you look at when you look at Alhambra, which is a much larger city, only has barely twice, or Arcadia, barely as many, just a few more than us. Overall, that's my only complaint. Nothing we have any control over. But as to the report itself, I'm certainly willing to go forward and recommend to the council that they submit this, the direct staff to submit it to the State Department of Housing and Community Development as is required. So I'll make that motion.
I will second.
Okay. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Okay. Chair Schwartz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kratman,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
and Commissioner McMorris.
Yes.
So the vote is 4-0, motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, the next item tonight is a conditional use permit, planning case number CUP 24-006 at 529 East Valley Boulevard, number 268C. The applicant is Kirby U. Chin of Carapro Sound Studio, Inc. And tonight, Associate Planner Cervantes. Marlon, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good, please.
Good evening, Chair Schwartz and members of the Planning Commission. The public hearing item before you tonight is for a conditional use permit to allow for a karaoke business located at 529 East Valley Boulevard, number 268C, planning case number CUP 24-006. The proposed project is located in a commercial development on the northeast corner of East Valley Boulevard and Lafayette Street. The subject property is located in the mixed-use transit-oriented development zone of the Valley Boulevard specific plan area and has a general plan land use designation of commercial specific plan. The business is located in Unit 268C of the Commercial Shopping Center and currently offers karaoke and sound system rentals, installation, and demonstration services. Carapro Sound Studio is proposing to add public format karaoke where participants will take turns singing in front of each other and other customers. The proposed business hours features an open floor plan with a reception area in the entryway, a seating area with tables in the center, and a stage with an equipment table at the end. Proposed hours of operation will be weekdays from 1 p.m. to 6:30 and 7:30 to midnight by appointment only. Weekend hours would be from 1 p.m. to midnight. Food and snacks will not be provided to customers, and beverage will be limited to water and tea. To reduce any potential for noise to neighboring tenants, a condition of approval to provide soundproofing is being recommended by staff. The general plan land use designation is commercial specific plan. This land use designation allows all uses permitted in the general commercial designation, including retail, service, office, recreation/amusement, and other commercial businesses, which provide goods and services for the local population, and those businesses which are targeted towards visitors and commuters. The proposed use also supports Economic Development Goal 4.1 to create a vibrant business community by providing karaoke in a format that does not currently exist in San Gabriel, compatible with surrounding properties and uses, and that the proposed use is not detrimental to the public health, safety, or general welfare. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act and is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act per guidelines section 15301, class 1 for existing facilities. The item was noticed at the project site, advertised in the January 30th, 2025 edition of the San Gabriel Sun, and a notice was sent to all property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius. Tonight's agenda was also posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library. Finally, staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission of the City of San Gabriel, California, approving planning case number CUP 24-006 for a conditional use permit at 529 East Valley Boulevard, number 268C, to allow a karaoke business at 529, or at the subject address, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. Thank you. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you. Just to clarify one thing,
Sure.
to kick off questions towards you. Typically, these karaoke places are private, have private rooms.
Correct.
This is different.
This is different, yeah. It's an open floor plan with the stage on one end and seating tables available. So everyone who's everyone who visits the business can watch singing, the singers.
That's what it appeared to be the case. Questions of staff tonight on this item? Okay, seeing none, is the applicant here?
The applicant is here.
Can we hear from the applicant?
If you could come up and speak. Sure. I'll ask. Okay, if you could come up and speak to the mic.
Yes. First of all, thank you all so much for being here at this hour. It's appreciated.
Thank you for your application. A quick question. Currently, it says, so you're not currently offering, karaoke to the public within the premise, but so then is your primary business the renting of the rental karaoke units and installation and things like that for parties or something elsewhere? Is that the kind of
Yes, pretty much for the, I guess, Taiwanese senior citizens to get together. We do parties, yes, and birthday parties. We also have sometimes offer the place for people who's in the competition, to practice. Most of the time, some people like to sing, could sing. For me, I like to dance, so we do line dance. That's why we leave the plant open.
Okay, so this would just kind of be an extension.
Yeah, for the
Of what you're
senior
already doing, but
citizens
here,
to
okay.
exercise, yeah.
Got it. Okay, thank you.
I'd like to verify. There are several conditions of approval required for you, like from the police department with video surveillance, for example. Have you read these conditions? Have you read the
Yes.
condition? And are you comfortable with those?
Yes,
Okay. They don't provide any problem for you?
no,
Okay, thank you.
okay.
Are there other questions of the applicant? Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. Have a good night.
Are there other members of the public that want to speak on this item tonight?
Do you need another person?
No, just if they want to. Jackie, if we have any other speaker cards or if you received any other communication about this item?
No, Chair, we didn't.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. And we will ask for comments, deliberations, and discussions from the commission. Who would like to speak about this item?
Seems very straightforward to me.
It's very straightforward to me, too. I move to approve.
I will second.
Chair Schwartz? Yes.
Yes.
Vice Chair Kratman?
Yes.
Commissioner Carney?
Yes.
And Commissioner McMorris?
Yes.
So the vote is 4-0, motion passed.
Congratulations. We owe you, we look forward to you having every success with this. Thank you. Okay. I believe the last item tonight is planning case number CUP 24-008, a conditional use permit for 534 East Valley Boulevard, number 10. The applicant is Queens Garden, Inc. And Christine, please, how are you tonight?
Good, thank you. Thank you, Chair. Good evening, Commissioners. The item before you tonight is a request for the approval of a conditional use permit for a Type 41 ABC license to sell beer and wine in an existing restaurant at 534 East Valley Boulevard, Suite 10. The subject property is located on the south side of East Valley Boulevard with Allegro Square to the west and South San Gabriel Boulevard to the east, and the project site is known as Valley Plaza and contains a mix of restaurant businesses. The project site is zoned CCT for a commercial center within the Valley Boulevard specific plan area, and the site has a general plan land use designation of commercial specific plan. The applicant, Kin's Garden, is an existing full-service restaurant that serves Chinese cuisine, mainly consisting of barbecue-style grilled meats and seafood. They currently occupy a 721 square foot tenant space, and their current hours of operation are 3:30 p.m. to 1:30 a.m., Monday through Sunday, but they are closed on Tuesdays, and they aren't requesting any change in their hours of operation, and there is no live entertainment request with this CUP. The proposed CUP is a request for a Type 41 ABC license, on-site sale and consumption of beer and wine, and no liquor or distilled spirits would be allowed on the premises. All of the surrounding properties are within the Valley Boulevard specific plan area with various zoning designations. To the north are commercial sites. To the south, there is a multifamily residential site. And to the east and west are also commercial retail sites. Planning staff and San Gabriel Police Department have included conditions that ensure the proposed use would be compatible with the surrounding areas. Some of the police department's conditions of approval include beer and wine should only be served in conjunction with food, requiring the installation of a surveillance camera on site near the cashier and entry and exit areas, and that management should immediately notify the police department of any crimes that occur inside the business, and that the police department can seek review of any, conditions of approval for this location and request reevaluation for public safety. The proposed CUP would be compatible with the general plan and meets economic goals 4.1 and 4.2. In determining whether to approve a CUP application for alcoholic beverage sales, there are a number of conditions to be imposed, and the commission should consider the following findings on the screen. Staff was able to make all the findings as noted in the staff report tonight. The project was reviewed for compliance with the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, and is found exempt per guideline section 15301, which is a class 1 exemption. The public notice was mailed out to all property owners and tenants within a 500-foot radius of the project site. The notice was posted at the project site as shown in the photo, and agendas were posted at City Hall, the post office, and the public library, and advertised in the San Gabriel Sun newspaper on January 30th. With that, staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve planning case number CUP 24-008 for CUP at 534 East Valley Boulevard, number 10, to allow the on-site sale and consumption of beer and wine, and to grant the determination of public convenience and necessity at an existing restaurant business, subject to the recommended conditions of approval. And that concludes staff's presentation.
Thank you, Christine. Are there questions of staff on this item? Okay. Is the applicant available?
Yes.
Okay. Can we hear from the applicant?
Good evening, and I'm the applicant's daughter. Unfortunately, she and my dad doesn't speak English, so we came unprepared, sorry. And what would you like to know?
Well, a couple questions. Obviously, the restaurant's going well, and you're hoping to expand with the beer and wine.
Yeah.
So that's very positive. There is a set of recommendations, recommended conditions of approval. Have you looked at those?
Yes, we did.
And are you comfortable with those?
Yes.
Okay, those will work for you, okay. Good, that's important. Let me ask my fellow commissioners, do you have any questions of the applicant tonight?
How long have you been in business already?
Starting from 2018 March, that's been.
Oh, okay, 7 years approximately.
Yeah.
7 years.
Very well,
7 years.
okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, great. Other questions? Okay. Obviously, we wish you every success,
Okay, thank you.
and thank you for being here, and just wait, and, we'll see if there's any other public comment, and then we'll
Okay,
have staff discussion, so, thank you.
thank you. Have a nice night.
Thanks. Is there anybody else from the public who would like to speak on this item? Jackie, have we had any public comment that you've received on this?
No, Chair, we didn't.
Okay. Seeing none, we will close the public hearing. We'll have discussion amongst staff, or amongst the commission, excuse me, on this item. So, George, you want to begin on this?
I just have one quick question relating to the density of licenses. Do we have more licenses per whatever than, or about the same, or, that's just a question that occurs to me.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Carney. Within the census tract, there's about 8 ABC licenses. They're all type 41. There is one other type 41 license within the same plaza. It is considered an overconcentration by the ABC, but there are findings in the staff report tonight that staff was able to make to justify the granting of the CUP.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you.
Would anybody is there anybody that would like to make discussion and/or a recommendation tonight?
I move to approve.
I will second it. Can we have a vote, please?
Chair Schwartz,
Yes.
Vice Chair Kratman,
Yes.
Commissioner Carney,
Yes.
and Commissioner Morris.
Yes.
The vote is 4-0, motion passed.
Thank you. Okay, now is Samantha, comments from the planning manager.
Yes, Chair, members of the commission, just a reminder to the commission that applications to be a commissioner on a commission, on all the commissions for the city opened on January 17th and will end on March 14th. The 2 seats that are up would be yours, Chair, as well as Commissioner Lee. So this is a reminder to file the application, and for anyone who is not currently a commissioner, it is open to the general public. The filing is available on the city's website, and for more information, can contact the city clerk's office. And that's it, Chair.
I have a question about that process. It says that the interviews are going to be April 8th and 9th, if I remember.
That's correct.
How will we know whether PC applicants will speak to the commission, to the city on the 8th or the 9th?
The agenda should be posted identifying that 72 hours before the first meeting,
Okay,
and hopefully even sooner than that.
okay, because my application's already in, so I'm just waiting for the schedule. So, anything else? Do we have every reason to believe there'll be a March meeting and every other one going forward at this juncture, right?
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Commissioner comments or any conference or meeting reports? Okay. Seeing none, we will adjourn the Planning Commission meeting, this Planning Commission meeting, to the regular meeting next on Monday, March the 10th at 6:30 here at City Hall.